Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bazaar Overexplained, and in anticipation of my Mac video about how to play all builds on Mac, we are playing Mac. So let's see if we can showcase something for you here today that spotlights what you can do on Mac. You know, now that we have this 7 income start and this 15 gold, there are a lot of directions that we can go in the early game. And Curio is not generally where I like to start. Normally I would go to an item vendor and try and fill out our board, but we could also go to the strange mushroom here, and we could go ahead and get a silver tier potion, and this could give us some good direction for going into like a potion build or a specific synergy. The rainbow potion is pretty strong, so I kind of want to find a Tzitzitian dagger. There's also not many haste items on Mac here, so this is likely to be a smelling salts, although they did add one more small haste item into the game here that is pretty good early on, but I think I want to start filling out my board. So let's go to Andy and see what we can see. All right, the Venomander's not the worst, not the best. Orly could be very interesting, as well as the ionized lightning. So we have two very strong crit items here out the gate, and that could give us some good direction to go into the crit build. Sure, we can go into that direction. It doesn't really work super well with our rainbow potion. We do find a dagger, and I will take that. So how do we want to play this? I guess we want the crit to be on the rainbow potion, and we'll save our gold. Maybe we go to a medium item vendor, try and find something like a magic carpet is what I'm thinking. And out of these three options here, we don't have anything that goes into the slowing synergy just yet. I'm looking at pyro here. If we get really any of these items, we can make a good use of them. Having cinders on a rainbow potion could go pretty far. And hey, if this thing crits, that is a pretty good amount of damage that it's putting out. And frankly, 6 poison on a 6-second cooldown on day 1 is no small amount. So we're going to win this fight maybe a little faster than expected. I definitely don't want to play these both on my board if I don't have to. And okay, the fiery skill, not a bad one. There's a tiny free monster. We do have a friend. I kind of like going to Quixel here, although I wouldn't want to reroll on Quixel, but having small and medium items is pretty much what we're looking for. So let's see what we can find. Alright, not necessarily the ones we want, but a nice 1-2 combo here. The life conduit can be pretty powerful. We have a philosopher's stone right next to it, so I will take both of these. And I get this catalyst here. I don't think I'm re-rolling on Quixel. I don't think I want these barbed claws either. We're going to want to fill out our board just a little bit, but we need to find some more items to do that. Okay, right eye versus keen eye is what I'm looking at. I could also go artillery spotter, and then I could play something like this and try and get lucky on some crits. I don't think that that's really the way I want to go. Maybe just introducing more crit chance overall to our board makes the most sense here. It's only 4%, but it's not nothing to say the least. And okay, a small weapon. Is there one we're looking for? Well, we don't have the magic carpet currently, so I kind of want to go to JJ and see if we can get a reagent or spike like one more regen item. I could go ahead to the jungle ruins and get a silver tier one. Let's go to JJ. And there is a regen item. It's not a bad one either. I'll take the venomous dose, and I will put that on the board here. I think that's going to be better for us overall. No reagent, but we could get a catalyst from mortar and pestle. No. Alright, let's go into our first fight here. I don't have super high hopes for our power level here on day 1, but we have a pretty decent amount of poison. If they have healing, that'd be bad for us. Doesn't look like they do. They have a showcase, but it's not turned on right now. So yeah, when we're doing poison damage and we have regen, I think that this rainbow potion is going to be all we realistically need to win this fight. Although that the Lumbors and Halidai are powerful, we're going to be able to eventually make enough regen to get out of the danger zone with those. And as the poison stacks up here, I really want to say that I've appreciated all the support I've been getting recently, coming back from a little bit of a break here. Coming back to all your nice messages about me making content again feels really good. So I appreciate you joining me here for these Bazaar runs, and yeah, have some exciting guides and things of this nature that'll be coming out pretty soon. Okay, well, we win that fight. Went pretty much as expected. The Pygmalion didn't seem to have found their third weapon that day, which is pretty lucky for us, gotta say. And okay, another lucky thing here is Herma. Gaining some regen items early on would be nice, and there's 3 off the bat. Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna buy all of them. I'm pretty confident, just to try and get this online as fast as possible. So let's take the dose. Let's go ahead and take this Philosopher's Stone, and I'm going to take this Sword Cane. I'm kind of inclined to reroll here if I can, but I won't have a lot of money, so what I could do is I could transform this catalyst and get like 2 more gold from this other catalyst. So I would sell off 1, 2, 3, 4 items, and then I would have 3 gold to utilize. Yeah, that's probably not worth it realistically, so let's just keep sticking to the plan of what we had before. And you know, I kind of want to do something like this, as that'll make sure that this is doing all 3 modes. And yeah, let's keep it going. Okay, we don't have much money here, although again, I do want to aggressively search for regen items. But without that high money situation, I'm just going to go to the strange mushroom here and get 4 gold. I could have gotten a potion, but I really do feel like we want to be in a position where we are aggressively going to our shops. And, you know, like the eccentric etherite, because we aren't really doing a lot of damage, I kind of am afraid that they would one-shot me with their item. I'm not necessarily, or with their defense grid, defense matrix, I forget what it's called at this point. Force field, there you go. I don't know that I have the damage to necessarily power through it. I have a lot of great poisoning. It'd be pretty close. I don't know that I need to risk it. I can just go to the Covetous Thief, and they have this Keen Eye skill here, which would be pretty nice. They also have a safe. I think all of that would make a lot of sense. Even the pickpocket. They have a lot of ways for us to start capitalizing off of more gold gain rather, and continue our aggressive search for regen items. The life conduit that we have right now really isn't going to be useful on our board until we can get it online and get those quests. So I want to do that as fast as possible, because once we reach that point, it'll be pretty potent. We get the safe, which is nice. And yeah, let's go to Kina here and continue our quest. Okay, Venom, Optical Augment. The Venom can be very powerful. We also have this Venomous Dose here. If we do end up going into like a self-poison build, I could see that being good. I'll take that. And definitely taking the Venomander. I normally fall into this trap where I see 2 quest items and then I aggressively search to put both of them online. But I think, again, that is a bit of a trap and we should commit to one or the other. We're already so close on this life conduit. I think it's worth just passing up on this Idol of Decay, even though I do think this item is very powerful. So let's continue forward. We do have the ability to transform something. You know, it might be interesting to transform this safe. Well, actually, we can't do that. We could do that with one of our catalysts. This is going to be $3 at the very least versus the $2 that it would inherently be, or the $3 for the coins that we would generate from it versus $2 if it was a random medium-sized item. There are also not like a ton of medium square item or medium bronze items in the game or Mac at this point. We don't have to make that decision just yet. I don't think I want to transform anything right now. We have this Philosopher's Stone. Is this a reagent for some reason? I don't know why it's highlighting that. Yeah, unsure why that is. But yeah, I think we're good to just take the maximum amount of gold here, and scrap is the worst one we could have gotten, but that's okay. Okay. Regen weapons. I don't think there are those. We could try and go with Lost and Found, but I'm inclined to say that that's a bad idea. Yeah, not necessarily a bad idea to pass up on Finn's Big Bite, I should say. I am going to go to Finn's. Getting 5 regen at this point in the game and a little bit more life is very strong. And that's a Stell, so could do something like... Yeah, could do something like so. I'm going to use the weapon, right? So got to do this. It's not our lowest cooldown weapon. We have a pretty nice stack backpack. We need to make any space. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, we're so close on this thing. Stells can have a lot of burst damage, but we are working with a pretty decent amount of regen generation. Do I want to put this on the board? And this is transformed. No, you know what? Let's try this. Jason items have 15 crit. It's not incredible. I'm just going to continue on with what I was doing, but nice to get a little more regen here. Okay, yeah, let's go and fight this Stell. Stells can generate a tremendous amount of regen in the early game, which could be hard for us with exactly the kite, but looks like, okay, this artillery turret is super scary, and we're going to hope it doesn't get the first target of the fly, and it is indeed the first target. So yeah, I don't think we're going to outdamage that one, especially with the rigged skill, but that's okay. We are on our way to completing our quest. We know what we're trying to do with our board. This aerial turret is one of the most powerful early game Stell items that you can get, versus maybe like the, I don't remember the exact name of it, but like the Ball Blaster or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, let's go to Herma here before I say anything more ridiculous, and let's complete our quest. There is a satchel here. We could go in that direction. I am inclined to purchase it, and it is probably just going to be better than a lot of the other things that we're doing with our board. Yeah, we can start selling off some of this stuff, making our space in our bag. It's not the value play I wanted to make, but it's one I did make. And yeah, getting some more regen here feels pretty good. We're probably just going to go into our next fight and try and turn this on. I do think incense is very strong. How am I going to buy it? I don't really want this infinite potion to be in my bag, I guess I should say. Incense is just very good numbers, slowing 2 items for 1 second. Is it better than anything? I guess it's probably better than at least the venom and probably orally. So I will buy the incense. I do want to reroll, to be frank, because I think that there are some really powerful things that we could hit, but I just don't have the economy to support that right now, so we'll keep on moving here. Alright, B1, B2. Perfect. Exactly the sort of thing that we need. So we can go here and get this online and feel pretty good about where we're at. And yeah, I'm probably just going to go to Tempest Bravo here, which is... I don't know what they were called before, but it's a wild name to say the least. We're going to be wanting to do the most amount of regenning that we can here in this fight. So this is going to be super slow, and that is just going to be what it is. But my main goal is to get this thing to be as big as possible. We are going to poison them a little bit. I guess I could put something else on the board. This might be a little bit overkill, but I think turning this on as fast as possible is what we want to do. And yeah, this satchel, not doing too much on our board, but again, if we can get a really big number on this, I think that could be very beneficial from us. But really in this fight, again, all we're trying to do is turn on this life conduit so that it's enabled for our PvP fight at the end of the day. And I'm inclined to say we're going to get there here. This is a pretty good amount of regen that we are putting onto our board, and I'm a little bit afraid that we would even defeat them before we can get this thing online, but there it is. Okay, so yeah, that feels pretty good. And now we want to get this enchanted. We want to find other ways to synergize with this life conduit. There's a lot of directions we can go, but getting it online here is a great place to start. Alright, Fiery Cutlass. Not a bad one. There's Sylvia. I do have some things I'm willing to sell. There's a soul stone, which is not bad. There's also a moth meal. We do have this. Yeah, we'll take the moth meal, sell this off. Could have rerolled that item. I am interested in doing this. Oop, not that one, this one. Okay, heavy regeneration potion. That's actually really good with our satchel. This is a lot of regen. We do need to find a way to convert this into damage, but we may just be able to regen our opponents out of the game currently. And yeah, if I was going to buy the soulstone, I should have done it first. But are we going to do that? How are we expanding our board out? I guess I'm going to put the rainbow potion on board because we have the satchel. And then we're going to have one slot to fill. Yeah, we could sell off this Venomander, can sell off the dagger. Let's buy the soulstone. And I could reroll, but that's a lot of money, so let's keep going. In here, what do I want to do? I think I kind of want to upgrade this deadly hourglass and then transform it into something else. That seems like the strongest thing for me. Yeah, I don't really want to upgrade the sword cane. I don't think that's a very powerful item. And I don't think I'm really going to be utilizing this 6-second cooldown reduction. I'll definitely put this on the board. And I don't necessarily want to put on another potion. Or I don't want to put on this infinite potion because it's going to reload itself. So with this will go off. Yeah, so this will be just fine. And yeah, this hourglass. Is it better than the soulstone? Unsure about that. And just thinking about if we were to go to Midsworth, what would we be looking for? I guess there's some good payoffs. There's also just the ability to get even more regen, but we're pretty good in that department. So yeah, let's go to Midsworth, see if we can find something interesting. Alright, Cooling Ink is not a bad one. It is a little bit of poisoning. We can use this opportunity to sell the sword cane off. So yeah, I'll take Quillen Ink. I kind of want to take this Myrrh as well, just in the chance that we can go do more soulstone things. So I'm going to sell this off, and we'll take the Myrrh. Alright. So our board doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does have a tremendous amount of survivability. And do I want, when you reload, gain 4 regen for the fight. When you buy a potion, yeah, I'm just thinking about if I need to change anything. On our board positioning wise, I think nothing matters, or it doesn't matter where we have anything currently. So yeah, let's go into this next fight with this Dooley. I'm hoping that they don't have like a hyper damage build and are more shield reliant. Looks like they are Brick Buddy reliant at the very least. They have a Clarence, which can be very scary. In the regen builds, one of the big things they have to watch out for is just items that can one-shot you. And I say you have to watch out for them, there's not much you can do. But these are the ones that can ultimately kind of ruin your regen because they're just going to get to a point where they're doing more damage than you have health. And we aren't really killing our opponent, not quickly at the very least. So we're going to see how the numbers turn out on this one. Looks like we're going to be a-okay, but that is pretty scary. This is kind of like the exact thing that could stop us in our tracks. But yeah, we just went right through that Brick Buddy, which feels good. This charcoal was scary too, but we won. So I'm going to take it and keep moving. Alright, Herma. Man, we've seen Herma, I think, 3 times in a row now. Super lucky, super lucky. Let's go. Philosopher's Stone. This Gravestone is an interesting one too. When you use a potion or a relic, another item starts flying. When you use a flying item, gain 5 regen. So notably, we have none of the... Oh, this is a relic too. So we could put it on our board, and then all of these items would care about that. That's not a bad idea. I'm definitely going to take the Philo Stone at the very least. And yeah, do I want to do this? I guess I don't need to do that just yet. I do think that putting this on our board could be pretty cool for us. We could even put another relic on board. And how am I facilitating buying it? It can sell Quillen Ink, can sell Venomous Dose, and I don't really want to sell Incense just because it's so powerful if we do upgrade and go into a slow build, but I don't know that I want to spend this. Let's just do this. See what we get. Oh wow, restorative flying potion. That's actually kind of perfect. Wow, okay. This only reloads 2 items. But it is kind of perfect for what we're doing. Alright. Well, if that's the case, let's sell off the incense. I don't like doing it, but it's what I did do. And yeah, we're going to create just a ton of regeneration. Not a bad place to be. Alright, 3 silver tier spare change represents 6 gold versus going to the docks. That could represent like 6 gold in another fashion. But I guess at the docks we could get a tool that could be interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to get the guaranteed 6 here in that regard. And Hellbilly seems pretty good. You know, does the retiree have a skill we care about? So just pulled up Bazaar.gg here, and let's take a look at the retiree. So when you heal or gain regen, your shield items gain 3 shield for the fight. Well, we're not going to be taking advantage of that. The Hellbilly doesn't really have anything that we want in terms of items, but they do have a ticket, which is pretty nice. Boiler the Room Brawler also cares about tools. They have a energy potion, which is pretty nice, but even an orbital polisher could be cool, especially because we do have a flying item. Let's just go to the Hellbilly. The Hellbilly represents the most gold. It also represents potentially the highest upside of money with getting this ticket. And, you know, I have a tendency where I say the thing that I want to get, and then I do get the thing, and I was going to maybe talk about this one, but we're not talking about that one. We're just talking about this ticket here. And we'll say we'll get that and move on with our day. I wonder if this could be interesting. When you heal with an item, charge an adjacent non-heal item. None of our items heal, they do regen. And man, we have so much regeneration. That's a pretty good survivability build, if I must say. And yeah, this thing is doing some good work on our board, to say the least. We're not killing our opponents, but if we can find a way to convert this regen into damage, that'd be pretty strong for us. I don't know what that means, Hellbilly, but okay. Fair enough. Alright, I shouldn't have said anything. That's okay. Alright. Ayla could have something for us. Although, let's consult Bazaar.gg. So, let's go to our tabs here. We can see Mac. I want to look at Mac weapons. Where is weapons? You know, I could just do this. That would make our lives easier. Here we go. So now that we've looking at weapons, Basilisk Fang, we're looking at things that are not gold tier that are going to be good for us. Realistically, none of these are really standing out. That doesn't stand out. Really what we want is like the moose, the staff of the moose. Runic double bow, runic daggers. Yeah, Sky Terror at gold tier. This is at gold tier. Sunlight Spears at gold tier, which is also something that would be really powerful for us. Vial Launcher also at gold tier. Man, there's Viper Cane also at gold tier. So, okay, maybe we're not really finding any weapons we would like. So instead, we could just go to Nufu here. Okay. 4 burns, not nothing. Right eye's not nothing either. I would have to sell off these spare change to get this immolating spark. Yeah, I'm not sure that this is going to be exactly what we want. If we do get a burn enchant on like our life conduit, that'd be good. I kind of don't really want to take this because I don't know that it's going to be in our endgame build. So I will just take right eye. Argenta, okay. Well, Gunner is not bad. Dumpster Diving's not bad either. When you buy a potion, I don't know if this triggers in the way that I would want. Both of these are very strong. This being reloaded is also very important, I would think. And that would make me maybe want to take off one of these items. We could also just get the gunner skill, and then we won't have to worry too much about that. Let's just go dumpster diving. That sounds like a better plan. Alright, well here'd be an opportunity to get a ticket. We have 0 gold, so this is 10, 12, 14. Yeah, we could sell everything and then be in the position where we could buy a ticket. It's not the worst, not the best. Kind of inclined to maybe take one of these off the board. Rainbow Potion is like our only source of damage. And I don't know that that even is a strong plan. You know, I could also just go to Barkin. And the reason I'm going to go is so I can make a big value play here. Sell off all these things, get an extra 4 gold. And leeches, when you poison, no. Alembic, well, we could get a small reagent, which is pretty nice. And then we, at the start of each day, get a catalyst and transform the small item to the left of this into a potion. So that's interesting. I kind of like this at the very least, just for that. I do like the Alembic. I'm going to sell here too. Wow, Quillback. This could be very good for us too. And there's also the Calcinator. I think I can sell this off. There's a Hemlock, okay. I do think the Wild Quillback has a tremendous potential. But it would probably replace like a Gravestone or a Satchel. And we're kind of Quillbacking with our Gravestone. And then, yeah, I think oddly, when any player uses a weapon, poison that player for 3, I mean, that is good. But we're oddly kind of doing more powerful things by having these 2 items doing their thing. Huh. Oh, okay. Well, I will take the Calcinator. That can be a little good regen for us. The Frost Totem can be very powerful as well. I also want to make sure that I'm transforming the right item here. And do I do something like this? That might be what I want to do. Just going full on regen. This has such a... I do want to upgrade this. It's such a fast cooldown. Hasting our flying items is really good. And I do think that although that this is doing some amount of damage, this number on this regeneration is going to be very important. Okay, let's keep going from here. I could have sold off more items, but I don't necessarily want to sell any of these off just yet. There is a world where we go into the potion side of things. I guess at the start of the day I need to make some gold. Okay, I'll sell the Hourglass and hang on to this potion for now. And again, the question is Soulstone versus Rainbow Potion, or even Heavy Regen Potion versus Rainbow Potion. I guess we are just making so much regeneration that this Rainbow Potion having at least some offensive effect is going to be good for us. Okay, so we're going to get a Catalyst and we're going to transform this into a potion. Is that what we want to do? We might just want to do that. If we're going to get a Catalyst, we then do it on the Hemlock here. And this isn't like the strongest of potions. Alright, yeah, let's do this. I'm going to fight this Vanessa. We're just going to hope that they're not a scaling damage build or that they're a poison build. And let's see, they have a Shadowed Cloak and a Julian. It's not what we wanted to see on these claws. This Life Preserver could be very problematic to us too. I see what they're doing. I was going to say, this is in a very strange spot. Although this is going to get damage, I am uncertain that it is enough damage. I guess it is going pretty quick here. We're going to be able to out-regen this thing, but it's going to be a weird timing with the Life Preserver. We're going to have, you know, easily over 1,000 regeneration. But it's going to really depend on how the Sandstorm hits us, and then when the Life Preserver goes off, and then when the Claws also hits us. So this is going to be a pretty close one. We're very easily going and getting all our max HP back. So there's the hit, there's the Life Preserver. Nice, okay. Could have been scary, but 2,500 regen. We're sitting pretty. Alright. Well, they did have something that could be scary for us, but we ended up being a-okay on that one. And we get a lot of free stuff. Love to see it. Where did this come from? Oh, this is just a potion. That's cool. Okay. And we get this Invuln potion. Not a bad one. I'm kind of inclined to do this. Toxic Venomander. Alright. Well, let's see if we can... I think we're going to wait to aggressively search for items. I guess we could get life conduit, like get an upgrade to gravestone or life conduit. We're sitting good on gold currently. You don't need to be too aggressive right now. 150 max HP would also go a super long way, given that that's our sort of weakness right now. I would need to make some space. I'm definitely willing to sell this off. And that would create 3. I could sell these off as well. Yeah, I will go to the eating contest here. I'm gonna sell these things off. And I guess I'll sell that off. I'm not going to be too precious about it. I think that having max HP is going to be very good for us. And there's Quixel. Yeah, take a look at Quixel. Blank Slate's not something I'm super interested in. I will take the Frost Potion just for our satchel. And do I want to reroll here? No, I do want to save some money, so let's continue forward. Scoville, I don't think we're defeating. Kyver Commander, I don't think is going to be too much of a problem versus Preening Duelist. Let's sell these off. I don't need to do that, but just to be extra safe. But let's go to the Kyver Commander. I feel like Scoville could potentially create enough of a problem burn-wise for us to lose the fight. And Kyver Commander does have this ticket, as well as an Insect Wing for a Life Conduit. There's a lot of good here. I don't think we want anything else outside of that. And we don't have a weapon right now, so the skill's not going to make too much sense for us. We could also like buy a bunch of poison items for this, but the poison value on the Soul Stone is not incredible. I think we really just want to find, again, like Staff of the Moose or something else to fill out like 4 slots on our board and convert a lot of regen into damage, or the Sunlight Spear. Let's see what we get. Yeah, creating a lot of regen to say the least. Feels pretty good. Also would love a restorative flying potion grade. Alright, Counter-Strike. We could have a use for that. And here's an opportunity to get the ticket. You'd have to sell off a lot, though, to do so. And I kind of want to save my money, so on day 6 I can look at gold tier items. So I'm just going to go to the treasure chest, transform a reagent, gain 5 regen. That's pretty good. Silver tier weapon. Yeah, that could be useful for us. And take it. Refractor, not really the one we're looking for. Okay. So we're going to need to make space. We already knew that. Burn item versus the docks. Let's go to Andy. It's a 2 gold reroll, so feel pretty happy to click it and try and find something good. Crocodile Tears, not really for us. The earrings could be good, but I'm not too sold. I guess Crocodile Tears is good for the purposes of our satchel, so I will take that. Let's reroll. Okay, more potions. There's the Quicksilver. Transforms into a non-legendary item you have for the fight. We can't guarantee. You buy this, get a catalyst though. That is good for us. So let's sell here. Buy this for the purpose of the catalyst. Okay, not that one, not that one. Sleeping potion. Not that great. Gonna hold on to this too. Buy these just for the purposes of our satchel. I don't think I want to play them. And then we do need things to sell off. You could sell this off. And then, so at the start of the day, we're going to get a reagent, or a small, at the start of each day, we're going to get a catalyst. Here, we're going to get a chunk of lead. And then this isn't going to give us anything. Okay. So, yeah, we can just do this. 2 slots seems to be all we need, unless it gives us a large or medium potion. So I guess I will just sell off the fire potion. There's a world where this calcinator gets big enough, but I'm not sure we're going to get to that spot. And okay. Well, we haven't found, like, Nightshade either, but we haven't really been aggressively looking for it, too. So, let's see what they've got. They've got certainly a lot of burn, but we're gonna be regenning like crazy. This is gonna be close. They're gonna be stacking burn on us pretty heavily as well. And although we're regenning it right back, if they stack on too much burn on us, basically we need like double this to be safe because it's ticking twice a turn. We have no shielding, or ticking twice a second, and our regen is only ticking once a second. That seems to be where we're at currently. So it's also going to come down to the sandstorm. It's going to be pretty close here. Okay, nice. That was pretty scary, as we saw 1/2 second more tick and we would have been dead. Just weird how burn and regen work with one another. But hey, we're making a purely survival-based build work on Mac, which feels pretty good. Let's see what we got. Okay, 2 invuln potions. Sweet. I don't think we're using that, but nice to have them. There's Hef. Hef could be interesting. Let's go to Hef. Fireclaw. No. Oil lantern, huh? I'm willing to try this. Yeah, I'm willing to try. So, I'm gonna have to sell this off. Again, not that. Don't do that. So here, Quillen Ink. Yeah, don't need a Quillen Ink. And let's just sell this Invuln Potion off. I will try the Oil and Lantern in like that spot. Guess I could take the satchel off. No, I do need the satchel for this. I think this is just very strong. We'll think more about this. Maybe it's just to the point where we're trying to do other things. Like, oh yeah, the dumpster diving, I forgot that's why we have needed another slot. Okay, let's go to Andy as well. I'll take the fire potion. Runic potion. Yeah, not too interested. I'm not sure that we're going to want to go too heavy on this satchel. We'll take the myrrh. Sell this off. Could just try and not care about this, do something like this or something of that nature. Try and replace this, and then our satchel is like fine, but I'm not sure that it is incredible for the purposes of Oil Lantern. Could yeah, just put this Venomous Dose on board. Let's try this and see how it works for us. Alright, the Dire Mosquito kills me every time, man. I feel like so confident, and then they just blow me out of the water. So let's go to the Zookeeper. They have this skill which could be interesting for us. They also have like a Train Spider, which could be kind of cool. Could put a friend on our board. We do have a good amount of relics here, so we're gonna get things flying. Is this enough burn? We did sacrifice a decent amount of our regen generation. We'll see how this all works out. Okay, what do we get? Leeches, huh? What am I selling to make room? We could also go into like a higher reload synergy and really do some crazy things with the satchel. I think it's just the calcinator. Go here. Okay, potions. Yeah, I'm not necessarily wanting to do the satchel stuff. We don't have a ton of money either. We'll sell this leeches off. Get lost and found. Alright, energy potion is a pretty good one though. Left eye versus rerolling. Not really making good use of light right-handed, or yeah, right-handed. No, I think we can do even better. Okay, Frostfire is not a bad one. Shatter could be good later, but I'll take the Frostfire. And there's Mandala. Now let's go to middle here. If we do find like the Sunlight Spirit, would definitely go in on it. These aren't that. There's a nightshade. Is a nightshade better than the oil and lantern? I mean, I think that this has the bigger potential overall. Just in terms of how much damage it can do, even though this oil and lantern is certainly a way to go. I'm just not super sold on its cooldown is the biggest thing. Or I guess I shouldn't say that because it's being charged. I'm not super sold on its damage numbers is what I should say. It's going to seem weird, but I will go and do this. Okay, now that we've done that, we, I think, make more sense going back into this sort of direction. Again, looking at this, we will want to potentially figure out how to put that back on board with our gravestone, but I guess we don't need to do that. We just have this energy potion. That's going to make up for a lot of that. And Philosopher's Stone versus having something else. I mean, this could just be a lot of hasting. This is a pretty high amount of regeneration. Also, I think hasting everything is going to make sense. And reloading. Yeah, maybe it's not worthwhile to try it in this fight. Maybe a little too, I don't want to say preemptive. The thing about this is it also just doesn't do anything until we get our items flying, so it's not super powerful, but I do kind of want to try it. We'd be giving up on this 23 regen philo stone, which is kind of the biggest thing. But if our items are going off quickly, then we are regenning anyway. So yeah, let's try it. I'm not sold that it is the thing we should be doing, but it is potentially still powerful. All right, do they have a scaling build? They have a submarine, a switchblade, katana. Do they have a Julian? They have a shark claws. That's a product showcase. What is this? When one of your items runs out of ammo, charge adjacent items. Okay. Well, we're poisoning and they're not going to be able to one-shot us, I don't think. They do have this crit, which is pretty good, but I think we're going to be in a decent spot. And I am curious to check out how much damage this, or how much regen this satchel is providing for us. We seem to really be hasting our items pretty effectively. Yeah, I think we did way more poisoning damage than we would have done with the oil and lantern. So I do want to upgrade this if given the opportunity. Okay, 144, that's pretty good. Let's give us 130, that's really nice too. Okay. Yeah, I think we're in a good spot. These providing a lot of hasting for us makes some sense. We didn't clear out our backpack, so we're not going to get all the things we need. And I think I transformed an item I didn't want to, but I forget what it was at this point, so I don't even care. Okay. Well, with all of this, Herma, again, feeling pretty lucky here. Definitely take the Nightshade upgrade. And there's a Peace Rot. Peace Rot's good economy. I don't think I care about this. Shrinking Potion, not so much. Just thinking about this Peace Rot. We do have a lot of small items, so it makes some sense. Alright, Gravestone upgrade, definitely interested. And we're going to have to sell off a lot of things to get there. I will sell this off, I'll sell this off, I'll sell this off. I can start eating things. And I think that'll be okay. Yeah, I didn't manage my inventory appropriately, and I think that economy-wise was pretty bad for us, but that's okay. Get a reagent, interesting. I also would love to go into a fight. Yeah, I'm gonna get a reagent. Wow, Distilled Sunlight is a very powerful reagent. Okay. And there's Joyful Jack. Joyful Jack could have some good things for us, I think. They have when you heal or gain regen, charge a poison item, and that would be really insane with our Nightshade. Critical Aid, I don't think is going to do much. Let's just say we get this and can move on with our lives, you know? Yeah, it's a pretty decent amount of hasting we've got going on. Timings are a little weird on it, but... Also, is this doing its reloading thing appropriately? It seems like it's okay enough. This gets our items flying as well, so we'll take it. Darn, we don't get what we're looking for, but that's okay. Where's Mandala? I definitely want to try this. Shiny venomous dose. Huh. Kind of terrible. Also, I realized, did I sell off my Phylostone? Is that what I transformed? That's okay. You live and things happen. Can sell this off, I think makes some sense. Crit skills, no, let's go to gold. That's a lot of regen. Left eye is also pretty good. We have right eye. We could put this over here and then left eye it. And do something like that. Yeah, I'm inclined for that. Let's do it. Crit items versus slow items. We're also going to eat something. I don't really want to eat this. I want to transform this again. And is there a world where we put this back on board? I'm not sure there is. So, crit items. Now let's just go ahead and get a slow item here. Sleeping potion, okay. And we fight Estelle. So I want to do this, I think. I know we didn't get any piece rot value, but that doesn't mean we won't. And generally we need 1 slot, 2 slot, so I think we should be good. Alright, let's fight this Estelle. Let's see what they got for us here. Stells at this point can have a large item that does a ton of damage. Doesn't seem to be that's what they're doing. They're doing the steam washer stuff. We also have a Shadowed Cloak Gatling gun. This flashbang could be pretty problematic, but really it's a steam washer that we have to look out for. And, okay, so this isn't being reloaded in any way, which is pretty good for us. We're just going to be hasting, charging up our Nightshade. And I will say what I do like from the position of where we're at is that although our board I think is pretty good right now, there's still a lot of room to grow. We have some really powerful synergies. We have a satchel that's pretty big too. There's a world where we could get like an Athanor and do good things, so there's a lot of room to grow here. And strength potion's not bad. Oh, we get another flying potion, okay. Oh, I was hoping that the haste amount would go up, but it's more items start flying. It's not bad, but I don't think the restorative clause on this makes a ton of sense. Let's do this, see if we can figure out what we want to do. Okay. Shiny Basilisk Fang. No, I think we want to reroll yet again. And I can put this back on the board. Alright, let's go to JJ here. Ooh, Diamond Gravestone. Can also do this. Throwing net is also very powerful. I'll take this. Why not? It's pretty expensive, but that's okay. And I think I would do this. Also, does this only care about small items? Yeah, okay. Do I want to reroll? No. We would want a gold tier item. We don't have the money for it. There's middle. I would like a life conduit upgrade, I suppose. Seeing that middle can give us a life conduit or a nightshade upgrade, I am more inclined to roll here. Rapid injection system is also very good, but not really the build we are in. Alright, there's atmospheric sampler. When you use an enchanted item or flying item, charge an enchanted or flying item 1 second. At the start of each fight, another item starts flying. Start of each day, get a small reagent. When you use a flying item, so let's just take the enchanted clause off this. When you use a flying item, charge a flying item 1 second. Okay, that could be very good. All our items are gonna fly. The only thing is, I know that these items are to play together, but I don't like filling up 4 slots on our board just for these effects. I think we would need more to make our life conduit what it needs to be in terms of its high regen output. That said, I do want to kind of try it. just to know how powerful it is, because I've never had the opportunity to do so. I mean, if we can get 2 triggers off this and we're hasting, maybe things are just going crazy on our board. Yeah, maybe that is just worth trying. So we're at 4 gold. Could go 6, 8, 16. I'd be giving up on our soulstone, but that's okay. It's really the shiny basilisk thing. I want to keep trying to reroll this guy. Well, let's try this. I want to know how powerful it is. And if that's what we're doing, we're not going to be reloading these, is the only thing. I feel like we would want just like, maybe we're not even ready for this thing. We would want 2 non-potion items, just because we don't have anything to recharge them. So yeah, we could look for like 2 small fast items to replace this, and then we can put the atmospheric sampler on the board. I don't think the peace rot's going to make a lot of sense. Alright. Well, this is an opportunity to potentially get a ticket, I believe. No, this is not this fight. Never mind. Do we want anything from here? Not necessarily. Maybe the electric eels could be good for us. This skill also could be pretty nice for us. I think we're kind of in the level 10 waiting room right now, so that we can put some sort of offensive enchantment on our life conduit. And if we do that, then we could truly fill out our board with just like small regen items and take this nightshade off. And that would be even more powerful with the amount of regen we could generate. But as we can see now, it's not like we're in a bad spot by any stretch of the imagination. It's just like this amount of poison on day 8 is not like incredible. Seaweed, okay. We could get Sunlight Spear. We'd have to sell off a lot to do it, but I would. Versus Monster Ranch, CDR I think is just too valuable. Or Vial of Blood. Maybe I'll take some XP. Silver Tier Reagent. Let's sell this off so I don't forget. Silver Tier Reagent. Let's just get loot, get the most money possible. Alright, well here's what I was kind of talking about. We can get 2 fast items. I mean, energy potion upgrade is pretty great. There's also smelling salts. Fast smelling salts is something. I do want to do this. I would have to... it at gold tier is kind of a bummer, just because of how much it costs. Yeah, I think I'd just say I'm okay, and I realize I could have avoided this scenario if I had just peace rotted appropriately, but that's fine. And I could do that. Okay. Alright. Okay, fighting another Stell here. I don't want to see a large gold tier weapon that scales, but that's kind of like exactly what Stell does at this point in the game. Weather Machine. Weather Machine and... Balloon Engine? So they're primarily doing this. Okay. We are regenning a lot. I guess this anchor, how is this anchor getting more damage? Oh, the weak point detector. I see what they're doing. Weak point detector making a bunch of slows. This doesn't have any crit, which is good for us. And I don't think it's going to be outscaling us anytime soon, so nice. Alright, we get our day 7 victory. Or our day 8 victory, but our 7th victory. So we're going to get some more chests. It feels good. And let's see if we can find something even more powerful than what we're doing. Alright, there's a moth meal. Yeah. Let's do that. Heavy macroscope. This could be pretty good. Doesn't... Well, I guess it would kind of work pretty nicely what we're doing. This could be in the territory where we start to do this sort of stuff. We want to sell this off. Yeah, I'm willing to peace rot that one, I think. Actually, you know what? It is this one that we want to piece rock because this reloads. Now we'll go to JJ. Mental Mori, no, no, no. Ring Blade is an incredible item. Not the one we're going to be using. It's another moth meal. We don't have another catalyst. Soulstone came back to us. So the satchel is creating a lot. I do want to try this setup just to see what it looks like, and I do kind of want another small item to be on our board for that. Soulstone is a relic also for purposes of this item. Okay, we'll take this. We'll put this on board. And I'm just going to see how this works. Mysterious portal, huh? It could be anything. It could be stealth. So we do have a flying item. When your item starts flying, shield 100. When your item starts flying, haste 2 items. Your other items start or stop flying. We also, we can't afford that. That's just what I'm seeing. Can't afford that either, okay. These 2 items, I mean, if these were 24, I could see a world. This, I'm kind of like inclined to reroll because I feel like this could be something very exciting because we do have this. Yeah, we'll do that. When your item stops flying. We don't have anything to make our item stop flying. Your other items start flying. Flying weapons. Yeah. Okay. If we had more gold, we could have gotten one of those things, but we just didn't have it. This cares about another relic, quest, friend, or enchanted item. So, do we have anything? We have a relic, we have a quest, we don't have a friend, we do have we don't have enchanted. So there is room for this to get better. Foundation Revenant, huh? I again don't want to mess up in terms of, how should I say this, like losing out on XP. The Foundation Revenant is not any sort of weak fight. But I do want to test this. Heavy macroscope, I mean, again, we are going to be creating a lot of regen, especially with this, when it starts to fly, it's going to get a lot of triggers. And it is an enchanted item, so we are going to be charging things a lot. Let's try this, I think we still have something powerful with this on board, and with the atmospheric sampler, it could be good. But yeah, there are some cool items we could get, like this soul ring, or really like purifying flame. Then we could get any burn item and it would be super powerful. Okay, we are charging our items. It's nothing too impressive compared to what we had before, to be honest. It looks very comparable. Maybe it is better. Just thinking about how much we've poisoned them and how much regen we have compared to what we normally do. I could see that. I'm glad we tested this. I think what I'm seeing is we want to find a friend potentially for this. Emerald? Alright. Well, here's a good opportunity to make a offensive item. Maybe the gravestone could have been it. Now that I think about it, I should have checked that. That's okay. And there's Kina. Just thinking about my peace rot. I want to retain 2 potions for this purpose here. So let's sell this. Nice. Love that. And let's roll here. Okay, yet another distilled sunlight. You know, this Quicksilver could be pretty good. So what is this seeing? Oh, this is seeing an enchanted item? Yeah, okay. Just thinking about this Quicksilver here. Because Quicksilver copying or heavy macroscope would just be better than this. So I do want both of those items. Am I really willing to sell everything off for it? Not everything. but I'm certainly willing to get this Quicksilver. I think that that'll be pretty nice. And we do get this Catalyst, huh? Would I sell these? Would I sell the Satchel off? We've kind of gone away from it. Yeah, I'll sell this, do this. And we don't need to sell it off just yet. Okay, probably gonna sell it now, but let's try this. Shiny Sleeping Potion. Yeah, not great. Okay, so we're just missing a friend, but that's fine. And I don't want to sell that. Do I just take 10 regen? Yeah, sure. Alright, let's fight this Mac. Now that we have our kind of separate damage dealer, we also maybe don't even need the Nightshade, but I think it's still valuable to have it. Just more damage is never a bad thing. And alright, they're gonna be pretty fast with this shiny energy potion. It's kind of like the thing we're looking for. We're gonna be charging our items though. Yeah, we're making a lot of regen here. But they're doing a ton of damage. Okay. I was just looking at my health bar, not looking at theirs. Alright. So pretty tough fight, I would say there. They have a pretty good board, especially with this like energy potion. They have a vitality potion, so okay. We got something cooking here. There's JJ. Sulfur, huh? Okay. We can do this. Let's go to JJ. Magnus's femur, huh? Man. Just thinking about these two macro scopes. Nah, you know I know it's good. But I'm not going to give in to temptation. This, on the other hand. Let's find a reagent and get something super cool. That's where I'm at. Cinders, yeah, we'll just take that because we don't have a lot of money. Do this. I really would want to reroll both of these things, and I don't want to sell them off. Okay, let's look at these fights real quick. So, Master Alchemist has this reload skill that's okay. Infernal Dreadnought, when you use a large item, burn 20. Not really going to be utilizing that, I don't think. So then we look at Morgoloth. First 5 times use an item each fight, charge an item from another hero 1 second. Okay. I think we can defeat this fight. So it's just going to pose the most value to us to go there. Let's go ahead and fight Morgoloth. Gaining 4 XP would be nice. I could see this being pretty good. This item is also kind of interesting, but not really what we're doing. They do a lot of damage. We do a lot of regenning, so I don't think they're scaling in any capacity. So yeah, we're all good there. Let's just check our numbers real quick. So this is a lot of slow that we're producing, which feels pretty good. You, in the late game, do want some sort of like CC. If you're in one of these slower regen builds, that's a pretty good amount of regen. That's a decent amount of damage. But I don't know that we need, again, I'm kind of thinking we could replace this Nightshade. Ritual Dagger, okay. We don't have a way to capitalize off that, oddly enough. Okay, Zosima could have some really good stuff for us. This is very good. We just kind of got out of the potion deal. Also this, first time you fall below half health each fight, gain 1 times your regen for the fight. That's kind of obscene. That could make all the difference in our fights, truly. And well, okay, Andy. Andy versus a fight. I guess we could just sell this, right? Put some more money on our Peace Rot. Put some more regen, I should say. This is a tough decision. I think it's got to be the fight. There's just so much upside here if we get something good. This isn't really that, but we could get this Keen Eye skill. Well, I guess we couldn't, actually. Yeah, not much for us here, unfortunately. If we got this assault focus, we wouldn't take it, so I'm kind of just hoping that I get, like, the runic double bow. But I do need to find replacements for this nightshade. Also, I think I want a medium item to replace the nightshade. Maybe a medium friend at that. So maybe, like, the crow? Okay, there's Paul. I don't know if we need Paul anymore. Let's check. So let's see, large items from Mac. I mean, I'm sure you get like a library. I would take a library. Laboratories, not a bad one either. Yeah, libraries obviously so powerful. Palanquin, not really. Plague Glaive, no. Potion Distillery. This Sky Spirit Ashes is also interesting. Also Sky Terror. Sky Terror could be really nice. Although I have not been impressed with the Sky Terror, I will say. We should look at our money situation. I think it's really like library or laboratory, and that would be 24 gold at a minimum. So we have 11. I would sell these things. Pearls can just have such insane items. It can have a medium friend from another hero, which would be so good for us. Yeah, I think this is going to be best. Okay, we don't find the things we were talking about, but do any of these make sense for us? This frozen flame at diamond tier is also just kind of insane. Freezing all enemy items for 2 seconds is super good. It's also putting out a decent amount of burn, but I think yeah, not wanting it. We don't find the item we're looking for. That's okay. Alright, let's fight this Stell. Let's see what they got. Alright, so they have an obsidian lightning rod. That is not good for our build. And then this is going to be doing a lot of damage. This could be a pretty tough one. That's also a lot of slowing. That's a lot of damage this thing's doing. Okay. We were just kind of frozen, slowed out of the game there. I think that kind of shows that, yeah, we really just need to find a replacement for this guy here. Okay, we level up. Transform this maybe. It's either that or the shiny one. Let's transform this. Okay. Not the one we were looking for. It's not a bad item. Maybe we're getting to a territory where we would even put our piece rod in. Okay. Let's put this back on board. So, Andy, again, having small items could be pretty nice for us. Going and getting a relic could be good. Aerodrome. Let's just go to Andy here. Alright. Myrrh certainly could be good. I'm also just thinking about this venomous dose. I will take it because it's just a fast item. And there's smelling salts too. Smelling salts is pretty potent. And fireflies, actually. Okay, wait. This is really good. I'm gonna put this back. Thanks, Andy. You can have that one. So we could sell this. I guess we have to actually sell something else, don't we? We can sell the nightshade. And then we can put the smelling salts. So we could do this. And whatever this turns into is fine. But if it's going to turn into something and it does turn into the smelling salts, we would want it to be on the fireflies. But I think this going off as much as possible is going to do some good things for us. Okay. Seems like a pretty decent upgrade to me. And Pearl's just like, come on, click me, man. You do that. Alright, I'll click. Vending machine. Radiant frost totem, huh? Doesn't even look radiant. Anyway, I don't think we want those. Oh, I could see a world. I could see a world where this is very good. Okay. A lot to think about there. Surprisingly, I really didn't think we'd be pivoting into a lighthouse build. But each one of these triggers represents 6 burn, so that's 30 burn. And then we have the smelling salts. I think we're a little too far from making this work, but there is a world where it does. And I know I have the shiny sleeping potion, but I don't want to have to play that. I think our build right now is still pretty good. And with all these things, what do we want to fight? So I'm curious if the hulking experiment has anything. This could be good. No. When you use an item with ammo, it gains more crit chance? No, not necessarily. Okay. I mean, maybe it's just Lord of the Wastes and we don't have a pendulum anymore. We're not really taking advantage of that. Property Baron also I'm not too sold on. They do have the most XP. There's also a world where the Property Baron one-shots us, but I do feel like if we can get the 4 XP from them, that'd be the best get out of all these things. This item can be very scary. They did remove the crit chance from it, luckily, so there is that. But yeah, that's a lot of hasting on this thing. And this turned into another macro scope, which feels pretty good. Yeah, and this Fireflies is getting real large, real quick. That was a lot of damage, but that was also a lot of regen and a lot of slow. Nice. Billboard. Just a billboard. For a backpack. Alright, I'll make space for it. A little buying and selling never hurt nobody. And there's Kina. I guess we could find a shiny thing. An upgrade to any of these items would also be good. So, let's just do this. Don't need to actually piece rot anything here. Let's go here. No. No, no. None of these. I really want an upgrade. Frozen Horror is also very strong. If we can find a Mandala again, that'd be good. There's also Secret Formula. Oh, wow. The burn item to the left of this gains burn equal to your regen. That could be the game ender right there. I do kind of want to take this Frozen Horror too. I could sell this off and take it. I will. There's also Throne Net. I kind of forgot about this. Nah, I think we're doing something more powerful. I think we genuinely have something pretty good brewing here. And if I could find like a slow upgrade to this, that'd be good. Yeah, let's go here and then we can consider what our board looks like. This is slow upgrade. There's also cooldown reduction. So let's make sure that this is doing the right thing. Okay. Slowing an item for 4 seconds. That's so much. Reroll here. Took the cooldown reduction too, because that's just good gameplay right there. Yeah, you know, why not? Take this, sell this off. I think crit on our makes sense. And I think we want to do that. I kind of forgot about this left eye, right eye situation. So these can't gain crit, I don't believe. We're still doing this. Secret Formula is very, very good. I make no illusion that that is not the case. It does have a 10-second cooldown. And at this phase of the game, having a fast start is kind of everything. It's the only thing. Okay, now this is a real big decision point as well. It's probably Life Conduit or Atmospheric Sampler. Let's look at how the sampler works. So, Atmospheric Sampler, charge 2 seconds. I think that's got to be it. Especially with the multicast we have. That seems very good. So as much as this is going to be more damage, this is going to be faster. And fast is kind of the name of the game here. These items getting up and off the ground as soon as possible is what I think is going to allow us to really win our fights. As much as the secret formula could do that, I'm not completely sold that it on our board is going to make the most sense. Let's also just do a relic check real quick because this cares about potion and relics. We only really have one, so this is really relying on our... Is this a potion? No. This is really relying on our Fiery Life Conduit to do its thing. And then this is kind of helping charge us up, so let's see how this works. I think this could be very powerful, but charging 2 seconds versus charging 1 second I think is a huge difference. And let's see, they have a deadly launcher core. Okay. They have a lot of stuff. Very hard to evaluate their board, but I'm sure it's powerful. And once these go off, we're charging. Yeah, they're doing crazy things, but I really feel like these two plus this atmospheric sampler are absolutely carrying us. Is transform into a gold copy of another small non-legendary item you have for the fight. So it's not even guaranteed that we're getting the double sampler, but or the double macroscope, but we've just been lucky to hit it twice. Okay, well here, potion, I don't think we care too much about really any of this stuff. Ooh, well, diamond cloud wisp. Jeez, okay. This is also really good. We're spoiled for choice in terms of things we can transform. Is there any potion we would necessarily want? I'll go just to get the value. There's a dagger. I mean, dagger plus a potion could be nice. I'll take it. No, I don't need to take it. And save our money. There's Mandala. Versus trying to get an upgrade to like the macroscope. We also probably don't even need the firefly damage. Maybe we look for a medium item. Just do this. Then we're losing on the friend synergy there. We don't have a poison item. Yeah, let's not go too crazy. I'm going a little crazy. Let's go to Andy. Any one of these upgrades makes sense. And you know how I feel about that item. I really don't need that. Also, taking the flying potion off is not great. Okay, this is, I think, the same fight choices we had before. Let's go to Morgoloth. Just more XP. Nothing too fancy here. Oh, is this not in the right place? That's okay. I don't think it matters too much for this fight. This atmospheric sampler is just really popping off. And it does make an item start to fly, so that is pretty nice. Okay, another diamond tier item for things we could transform. What was I gonna do? That's what I was gonna do. Okay. We don't have a poison item, which on Mac is pretty crazy to think about. So I guess it's just Kina. Yeah, okay. Are we selling anything to this? I don't want to sell this. Let's just go to Kina. Throne net, no. Sure. Why not? Energy potion. This could be good. For sure. I think it's like a fine hedge thing if we get like an ammo we can put on it, and that'd be good. Burn versus regen versus diamond. I mean, specifically regen is probably going to be what's best for us, although diamond tier skills can do crazy things. But regen, Yeah, no. None of these. We can do better. When you heal or gain regen, item gains 6% crit chance. While your enemy has more health than you, your heal and regen items cooldowns are reduced by 10%. That is good. I think this combat medic introducing more crit to our board is going to be best. And again, I'm not really... I think this is a really good setup, so I'm just going to go to the Monster Ranch and try and get CDR. We don't get CDR. We do have a gunpowder. It is 2 gunpowder. So... hasting our entire board. This is not necessarily getting us started faster. Well, I guess it sort of does. This is the exact scenario I talked about. Maybe it is just better than the Quicksilver. The thing about this is that if it does hit our macro scope, that is really good for us. Maybe it's just the smelling salts comes off and then we put the energy potion on. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So we'll get haste on everything and not just specifically this one item. Yeah, okay. So with that, do we need to change our positions? Not anymore. It's just because we have the smelling salts that it mattered a lot. Let's see what we get here. Okay, they have an obsidian stellar swallowtail. This is pretty scary, and a shiny private runabout. Okay, not an easy one here. There's our haste. It's a lot of damage. No, okay. Yeah. This is kind of, the burst damage is something that we can't really contend with. And that's okay. We'll get our level 10, or our death enchant rather. Healing. Healing could be interesting. I don't think it's radiant here. So this, when you use an enchanted or flying item, heal 40. That's gotta be good. It's gravestone. When you use a potion or relic. No. Hey guys, this is the green axolotl here. Let me move myself real quick. There we go. Hello. I'm the green axolotl. I bid you adieu. I am here for the pink axolotl. They may have accidentally clicked the pause button video, and then they did not unpause the video for the entirety of day 13 until they get to the very final node where they get a fiery enchant. Don't worry. You didn't miss much. They just had like the same Morgoloth fight and everything. It wasn't a big deal. Just pay no attention to the couple days that are going to be missing here. We did take the restorative enchant and we put it on that sampler. It was great. Just forgive the pink axolotl for their sins, and I ask that you move on and enjoy the rest of the video, because I think it's a pretty good run. At least I think so. I don't know, I'm biased, but I'm just the green axolotl. Anyway, okay, goodbye. Okay. So gravestone, when you use a potion relic, burn 4. Okay. And then I imagine if we were to put that on the firefly, it's just double burn. Okay. I think we're burning a lot. So we can go here. So we use a potion or relic. Burn. I guess it's only that, huh? So maybe we do just want to do this. Double burn on this thing. I mean, it's gotta be good. And there is a pig. I don't think we're changing anything. There could be a world where we want to put this shiny sleeping potion on board in case they're utilizing like one really big thing. But pigs are pretty scary at this phase of the game. We'll see. Hopefully they're like a scaling build that takes some time to get offline or online. But that's a skyscraper, that's a money tree. We gotta see how much damage this thing's doing. Okay, it's 22, but they are 100, but they have no crit. Oh yikes, that was pretty devastating. That freeze, wow. Dang, okay. That freeze really destroyed us. Because this was like our entire game plan here. 5-second freeze on that thing, yikes. And yeah, we were starting to go, but it's just, this is really integral for us to start doing that. Well, that's okay. We were close to our 10 win. We had a pretty cool build here. And hey, maybe there was something else we could have done to our board to make it even more powerful, but I like where we ended up. I mean, I think maybe this like gravestone plus atmospheric sampler taking up 4 slots in our endgame board was maybe a little too heavy. It's just a little too, I should say, like slot cumbersome. Like we needed to be more efficient with how much damage and how much effect we were having on our board. Okay, I'd like to resume my run. But we really did need both of these things, I think, to really capitalize off the regen gain, which was making our fiery life conduit so big and powerful. But maybe there was a world where we lean into the enchant part of this and then take off this gravestone and just go for like a full enchant board and don't worry about these 2 items. Maybe I got a little too married to this fiery life conduit. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I think our board was very powerful, but once you're hitting like day 14, scaling builds are not gonna be able to compete with like the one-shot builds. I do think that in that last fight, we could have potentially won if this thing didn't get frozen for 5 seconds. Just, that was pretty tough. Especially given that it wasn't the item that also started flying, because this could have made something fly. And yeah, that is also the item that makes our other items fly, is the other problem too. Like, yes, this potion does that, but we're really relying on this fiery conduit to go off so that the other things can start flying. Yeah, that was just super brutal. Got rather unlucky there, but you know, also want to think about how we can do better for next time. But with that, I appreciate you joining me here for another episode of the Bazaar Overexplained. I will be having a Mac guide coming out here pretty soon on how to play the hero. And hey, we have the ability to open 10 chests at once, and it's always a fun time to do so. But yeah, in that guide, I'll be going over all the different builds and how to play them, and giving you kind of a breakdown of how to do that, just like I do with all my other videos. Holy rugs, okay? It's a lot of rugs, man. Spoiled for choice here. Anyway, thanks for joining me again. If you like what I do, you can subscribe. But really, I just hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.